Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are Gael Mansour and Josephine Almor, and in this video, as you suggested, we will talk about network virtualization. As you all know, we connect to each other by using different servers and by using communication networks. Large and complex infrastructure continue evolving. Thus, we have a lot of nodes, components, and layers. As these networks depend on a lot of hardware, which means physical equipment, it is very rigid and expensive to operate. In addition, making changes to it, such as new products or services, will take a long period of time, sometimes weeks or even months. Also, it is hard making changes in perspective of management, configuration, and control.
Aren't we all relying on networks? Technologies are set to take IT and telecom to new levels of flexibility and efficiency. More than ever, we are facing new challenges and technologies such as virtualization and distributing network everywhere and anywhere. Nearly every person and business are relying on network. One of the most important and emerging developments is the adoption of virtualization. I think I convinced you into liking this new network.
In our previous videos, we discussed network alone and virtualization alone. Network is setting up IP addresses, routers, firewalls, and security elements. Virtualization, on the other hand, is focused on virtual machines to make sure they are accessible. But how about combining these two together, and let's talk about network virtualization. We will see next with Josephine what this is. And this is the outline that we will follow in this video.
A network virtualization is a method of combining, as we said, available resources in a network, consolidate physical network, divide a network into segments, or create virtual machine. It is the process of combining hardware and software network resources and net functionality into a single software-based entity, a virtual network. That way, the network becomes dynamic, agile, and optimized. What's better than forgetting about spending days or weeks providing the infrastructure to support a new app?
You are probably wondering how network virtualization works, and I will let you know. It actually decouples network services from the underlying hardware and allows virtual provisioning of an entire network. It makes it possible to create, provide, and manage networks in all software. Physical network resources, such as switching, routing, firewalling, or virtual private networks, and more, are pooled, delivered in software, and require only IP, Internet Protocol, packet forwarding from the underlying physical network. It is actually based on two technologies that we will see together. The first one is NFV. Virtualizing the network consists of separating software from hardware equipment so that network functionalities become independent from the physical equipment supporting them. As all are found in the software, the same server can be used for several purposes, depending on which software it is installed on. As they reside in software, as I said before, it is possible to package each network function in one or more virtual machines. And we can also decide where to execute them. So this is NFV, which stands for Network Function Virtualization. This is feasible because of set of advantages of several services has been managed. But that's actually not enough. Hardware resources must be allocated with great care in order to achieve high and predictable performance, so that virtualized networks can work at the same speed as traditional network functions. In addition, they must be interconnected with a coherent way in order to provide network services. These interconnections must be managed by a centralized point, and this process is SDN, which stands for Software Defined Networks.
Goals of a virtual network. First, we have flexibility. A virtual network should be flexible in every way possible. That means the service providers should be able to use any kind of topology, routing protocol, or forwarding protocol, regardless of the physical layer. Second, we have manageability. Manageability in virtual network may be achieved by the separation of service providers from infrastructure providers. Infrastructure providers will be in charge of managing operations of physical entities, while the service provider will lease resources and build virtual networks, depending upon the resource available. This separation will allow for an end-to-end control of the networks and consequently will increase manageability. Scalability. Scalability is one of the reasons virtual networks gains popularity. Programmability. If a virtual network is not programmable to adjust the user's needs and requirements, how advantageous it is really for the implementation of customized and user-specified protocols and services. A virtual network must be programmable. However, with the option of programmability, along comes the concern of security. A balance needs to be found out to ensure both programmability and security in virtual networks. Isolation and privacy requirements. It's hugely important that one virtual network stays isolated from another one in a same physical network. The breach of security can be significantly reduced by the creation of separate virtual networks in case of confidential data communication. Any bugs and failure of the system of one virtual network should not be able to hamper or reach the other ones in the ideal virtual machine.
We will see now together the two types of network virtualization. We have the external and we have the internal. Internal virtualization will use tools such as switches, adapters, or a network to combine one or more networks into virtual units. As for internal virtualization, it refers to using network-like functionality in software containers on a single network server. So, in other words, internal is a network that is restricted to one machine only, called a network in a box, and external will have at least one local network that is subdivided or joined into virtual network systems that are attached to the same local network into a various virtual network that can be configured by the administrator.
Of network virtualization. In today's always-on, always connected environment, mobile is a critical channel for customer communication and represents a major competitive advantage. With network virtualization for mobile, you have a proven technology that has been shown to reduce the occurrence of performance incident by more than 25%. Network virtualization for mobile allows tests to be managed and results analyzed from any laptop or Wi-Fi connected mobile device. The software can improve real-world mobile network profiles. The network virtualization library provides a library of real-world mobile and broadband network conditions.
More than 70% of the performance of any application we are utilizing relies upon the network. Organizations should consider the impact of the network on the mobile, on the ad client experience before an application is deployed. Actually, each second of delay will irritate the client, sending him to competitive and diminishing the way that he will return. By virtualizing real-world mobile network, you can test, validate, remediate, and accomplish portable application enhancement before arrangement to check that your back-end limit and end client experience necessities are met. Network virtualization for mobile will improve its ability to create a reliable mobile application testing environment, analyzing performance test results, and take immediate and effective action on any problem you encounter.
Preparing for 5G means not only understanding your customer's use case for deployment, but also a clear roadmap for meeting those needs. You should use network virtualization, a software-driven solution to improve performance, lower costs, and increase revenue. While many industry experts are familiar with network virtualization concept, most operators have had difficulty implementing them. The more and faster you understand network virtualization, the more of a competitive advantage you can achieve.
So now we will take a few examples of network virtualization or even applications in the next slides. The first example we will take is the following: network virtualization with flow points. When a network developer designs a new network protocol, it is sure that the testing part is necessary. Run it, simulate it, but what about deploying it? This is hard and necessary to know if it works. So FlowVisor is an experimental software-defined networking controller that enables network virtualization by dividing a physical network into multiple logical networks. FlowVisor ensures that each controller touches only the switches and resources assigned to it. It also partitions bandwidth and flow table resources on each switch and assigns those partitions to individual controllers. So the second example is probably something you heard about, Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. It is a service that allows you to launch AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, resources in a logically isolated virtual network that you define. You have complete control over your virtual networking environment, including selection of your own IP addresses range, creation of subnets, and configuration of routes. So it will help you to ensure secure and easy access to resources and applications. As you know, every single thing has advantages and disadvantages. So here's what we're going to talk about. So the advantages of network virtualization is 1. More productive IT environments, so efficient scaling, improved security and recovery time, faster in application delivery, more efficient networks, and reduced overall costs. Now we will see with Josephine the disadvantages.
Advantages: increase upfront cost, need to license software, not every application and server will work in a virtualized environment. Availability can be an issue if an organization can't connect with their virtualized data. How is network virtualization changing the telecommunication space? Telecom operators can dynamically scale with and adapt to rapidly evolving resource requirements, as well as the urge of new technologies. This enables them to serve dynamically distributed network of endpoints and sensors with great ease. Network virtualization has the potential to minimize cost by removing the need for specialized architecture or constant network reconfiguration.
Actually, we would like to finish our presentation with some good news. So I would like to tell you that sooner or later, virtualized infrastructure will probably have to run next to each other with customary systems administration equipment. Its arrangement can make a lot of architecture complexity. Dealing with this and advancing the working parts to work one next to the other requires insight in every particular sort of virtualization innovation. This is in addition to the expertise necessary to support and understand IoT devices. So given that the IT industry is already suffering from a talent shortage, demand for individuals with the above skills is extremely high and will only increase in the coming years as more telecom providers make the shift towards virtualized networks. So if you're a Lebanese telecommunication engineer that is interested in network virtualization, this is your chance to go for it because we will probably find a job soon.